The square root of 8 is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 2, and we can take the square root of 4 to get 2 root 2. The square root of 18 is equal to the square root of 9 times the square root of 3. I'm sorry, times the square root of 2. So that's 3 root 2. The square root of 50 is the square root of 25 times the square root of 2, so 5 root 2. The square root of 200 is the square root of 100 times the square root of 2, so 10 root 2. So this 5 is sort of along for the ride at the beginning of the problem. This is going to be the square root of 9 times the square root of 3. But this 5 has to multiply the 3, which is the square root of 9. So we're going to have 15 root 3 as our final answer. Here we're going to split numbers from variables. So the square root of 24 and the square root of r squared we'll kind of handle separately. So the square root of 24 is the square root of 4 times the square root of 6, or 2 root 6. R squared, when I take the square root, that's r to the 2 divided by 2, or just r. If you left your answer in this form, I certainly wouldn't mark that wrong, but I think it's a little less confusing to say 2r root 6 because it's clear what's underneath the radical and what's not. Again, with this one, we're going to break it into 3 parts. We've got the square root of 1200, the square root of x to the 8th, and the square root of y to the 10th. So the square root of 1200, well, 400 is a perfect square times 3. So that would be 20 root 3. And then this is x to the 8 over 2 and y to the 10 over 2. Well, that's x to the 4th, y to the 5th. So you could leave it in this form, or you could switch it to 20 x to the 4th, y to the 5th, root 3. We're switching over to cubed roots here in this next question. So we've got the cubed root of 27 times the cubed root of x cubed times the cubed root of y to the 6th. Well, we know that the cubed root of 27 is 3. So this is x to the 3/3, or x, and this is y to the 6/3, or y squared. And finally, we have a big mess. So I would start by taking this negative exponent and putting it where it wishes it was. So that would be the 4th root of, well, 32 divided by 2 is 16. The a to the 4th doesn't have anything to combine with. And when this b to the 1st comes down here with the b cubed, it'll become a b to the 4th. And now we can take the 4th root of each piece separately because there aren't so many pieces. Well, 2 to the 4th is 16, so the 4th root of 16 is 2. This is a to the 4 over 4, or just a. And this is b to the 4 over 4, or just b.